Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That Company Spotlight Sessions, where we showcase amazing folks doing amazing things for agencies and more. I'm Michael Knorr, your host, and on today's episode, we have Gray MacKenzie, co-founder of ZenPilot. Welcome to the show, Gray.
Thanks, Michael. I'm excited to be here and chat with you.
Absolutely. So let's just jump straight into it. Can you just tell us, what do you do for agencies and how do you help them achieve their best?
Yeah, right now we're helping agencies streamline their operations in ClickUp, which is a project management tool. So that's kind of the short, getting all their ops into one single source of truth. That's the kind of short tagline. Really, there's a number of problems that we're solving for agencies, and obviously a long backstory behind it. But kind of the short version is solving a lot of the systems and process problems to help them deliver better client services more efficiently and profitably.
Absolutely. And what I kind of liked most when I first met you was we tackle the same problem in different ways.
Right.
You solve it by, hey, let's hunker down and figure out your processes and, let's get it all streamlined so we can make you profitable and help you actually, onboard people and have them know what they're doing. And then we go, hey, don't worry about any of that. We'll literally handle it all for you underneath your brand.
Right.
It's just a matter of, what problems do they want to have solved and how do they want to solve it. So I thought that was really cool when I met you, that you solve it that way. So how long have you been operating in the company now?
We're just finishing up year 8 right now.
Year 8. Awesome. Congrats, man. And approximately how many customers do you serve currently / through the totality of those 8 years?
Yeah, so we just crossed the 2,000 agency served mark. But this year we'll work with somewhere between 400 and 500 agencies. Our methodology's changed a little bit over time. So right now, most of those clients are going through kind of an intense 2 to 3 month process with us. Kind of starts with a discovery and exploration process, kind of mapping out what the plan is. But then if it makes sense to work with us beyond that, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
Okay. So the first thing that someone could buy from you and engage with you on is a discovery process, right?
Yeah, we call it our blueprint. It's basically mapping out, hey, we've got all these processes. We've got, what are the service lines we offer? What are the processes that power them? What's the team that pull that all together or should pull that all together? What's the map of that org chart to deliver this? And then build out, okay, here's what your project management and process plan needs to look like. And then if it makes sense to go into ClickUp, we'll kind of give them the detailed, here's what each one of those pieces look like. How do you interface with clients? How do you deal with files? How do you deal with internal communication and revisions and all that kind of stuff?
Okay. So this could apply to digital marketing agencies. Can this apply to PR companies, traditional marketing agencies? Does this apply anywhere outside the agency realm, or is it really just focused at agencies?
So all of our marketing and all of our intentional focus goes to marketing agencies. We have worked with a handful of folks who are running service-based businesses that are not in the marketing and advertising world. So our background, I come from the web and SEO and content side of things. Andrew my business partner comes from the social perspective. And what's been really cool is we've had kind of different pockets of agencies at different points in time. So up until 2 years ago, we'd worked with maybe 3 or 4 PR agencies. Okay. And then there's a little run of PR agencies, a run of kind of real tech-heavy app development and web development agencies and paid social. So obviously the cool thing is we work with enough of those and see, okay, here's what the top ones, here's the commonalities between what the top ones do, and start to understand what the process what the process should look like. And that's been both Andrew, my co-founder, and I are super motivated by learning. So that part is really exciting and fun to do.
Absolutely. You get to kind of figure it out and solve it, and then you get to make a process for everybody else. So you talked about, there's some major common problems that you see over and over and over and over again. What are those common problems?
Yeah, we have a lot of folks. So, and some of these common problems really correlate to the tools that people are using. You have someone's coming to us and their agency's growing quickly. We're coming off of probably the 3 best consecutive quarters of growth in the 11 or 12 years I've been in the agency ecosystem. So if someone's coming off of like a Basecamp or a Trello or a system like that, the complaint is always, hey, I don't have visibility into what all is going on. Like I can't see where all my projects stand at any given point in time. So you've got, one segment that is really motivated by the leadership or the ownership of a digital firm, saying, I don't have the visibility that I should have into where my business stands. As a consequence, we're normally either missing deadlines or producing subpar work that's getting into clients' hands, and I'm getting complaints or clients are churning. You got other areas where there's a lack of clarity and I mean, that's a super nebulous term. Like, lack of clarity applies to a million things, but lack of clarity on what should individual team members be doing in the day-to-day, how much of their time is currently being consumed by stuff that it should be consumed by, and what's our bandwidth or resource management or resource planning. What is that? A lot of challenges around that. And you've got another segment that is, we don't have any processes in place. I can't scale anything. Like, it's more work. It's the catch-22 of, I have too much work. I need to hire somebody, but it's more work to hire somebody than to just keep doing it myself. So I'm kind of feel stuck and trapped with where I am right now.
Got it. So is there a typical size of an agency that's coming to you? Are they, that they get stuck, right? They can't scale. So what size are they normally when they come to you?
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a distinction, I would assume, like most businesses, between the average size of someone who checks out ZenPilot.com and the average size of one of our clients, where we do get a lot of early stage agencies and actually have a lot of conversations with relatively early stage kind of 5 team members or fewer agencies. Mm-hmm. But the bulk of our projects are happening with agencies who are kind of in the 10 to 80 person range. And we'll have some outliers who are on the upper end of that. We've got some cool new offerings for agencies who are on the smaller side of that, but that's where a lot of that's kind of our sweet spot in the marketplace right now.
Okay. And those new offers, they're already launched, or that's to come?
No, already launched. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a cool program called ClickUp for Agencies that has kind of been, here's the playbook, here's our pre-built templates, take a lot of the friction out of the process for people, but we're not going in and doing it all for them.
Got it. So it's like, here's the book, here's DIY, go do it.
Right.
Whereas the professional done for you service is the other step, right?
Correct. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Do you want to detail, I don't know if you feel comfortable or not, do you want to detail some of the price ranges someone might be looking at?
Yeah. So to get started working with us right now, and obviously we're recording this here at the beginning of Q3 2021. So all of this is subject to change.
Absolutely. But I like the little asterisk.
Right. And anytime it's anything. It's not just services. We used to do this with software as well when we were building software. Was, hey, here's the pricing today. If you're watching this a year from now, you don't just necessarily get the same pricing. But yeah, agencies will invest on the low end, $3,000 to $4,000. On the upper end are like large agency kind of full implementation projects. Between the discovery and the implementation on the back end could wind up being kind of a year one cost of $70,000 to $80,000. I think average ticket size right now for agencies kind of across the board winds up being about 18 or 19,000 right now.
Okay. And is that normally kind of spread out in payments or one size chunk, or how do you normally structure that?
Yeah, it's a little, so our blueprint process, that's upfront right now, and that's kind of a smaller bite size right now. It's a $3,000 investment to get in and jump into that. On the back end, we'll map out typically if there's a fit for us to work together on the back end of that. It's not uncommon to do a 2 or 3 month payment plan and kind of spread out over the course of the project, and and then figure out what fits for their situation and what fits for what we're servicing over what period of time.
Okay. So for any agencies that are watching this, before we wrap up, is there anything extra that you want to make sure that they know about you and about ZenPilot?
No, I mean, I think the agency focus has been, I always tell our team, our big advantage is not that we're significantly smarter or anything else. It's just that we get more at bats seeing these types of agency situations than anyone else does. And so as long as we stay humble and keep our eyes open and look for, hey, what's working and what's not working, that's how we continue to get better and build assets that every, the 2001st agency has a slightly better experience than the 2000th agency, because we can keep improving and iterating on the product and service that we have.
Absolutely. You've got a lot of experience, been doing this a long time, worked with a lot of agencies, the right processes that they need to have in place. Makes a lot of sense. So if anybody wants to reach out to you to learn more about your services, what's the best way to reach you?
Probably the easiest way, ZenPilot.com is the website, and ZenPilot.com/demo will take people to a demo scheduler page where you can check it out. Also, if you Google ClickUp for agencies, if you're just curious about the platform or you're actually looking at changing stuff, we've got a long form blog post that I wrote that'd be a good way to learn, and also a webinar. ClickUp pulled us in to do a training for their agencies as well. And then if anyone wants to just reach out to me directly, you can email me Gray, Gray, @ZenPilot.com.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Michael.